Hey guys, what's up? It's Julia, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up, and this is where I show you guys all the books that I read throughout the month of April and like a mini synopsis and kind of a little review and what I thought of it. And yeah, and I also want to kind of apologize for not uploading last week. I don't really have a reason for it, but I just apologize, and it was really weird not uploading. But like about this, talking about this month like as a reading month, I did every single month this year I've been reading 5 or 4 books, and I was dying to read. I just really wanted to read 6 books for once, or at least hit 6 instead of doing 5 all the time. And then one month was like a 4, but I read this like it was kind of a book. It's like 90 pages, but I don't know. Pretty much I read almost 5 books every single month, and I was dying to read 6. And this month I can finally say that I read more than 6, and I participated in a readathon, which I've never done before, and it was really fun. So I read 10 books this month, so let's get into them. By the way, I'm going to be doing them in the order that I read them, so just keep that in mind as well. And yeah. The first book I read this month was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, and this is the 3rd book in the Mortal Instruments series. And this book was probably my favorite so far in the series. It was really good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was really good. Like, a lot happened in this book than the others, and it was just amazing, and it was really fun. It was a good read, and I'm really happy about, and I was really happy about this book. So yeah. The next book I read this month was My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga. This book was so good. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. The writing was just beautiful. The story was beautiful. It was really sad. She's obsessed with plotting her own death, and she doesn't want to do it alone. So she finds this website, and she finds a suicide partner to do it with. And it just goes on from there. And it's so sad and beautiful, and I marked up so many quotes and everything. It's just a beautiful read. Again, if it's a topic that's not really for you, I wouldn't recommend reading it. But if it is something you could take, it's a really good novel, and it's really worth the read. So yeah. So the next book I read this month was Criers Cross by Lisa McMahon, and this book is pretty much just, this book is about this town called Criers Cross, and this girl goes missing, and she's been missing for a while, and that kind of just like made the town really, everyone in the town was just really anxious, and they were all weird about it because nothing like this has ever happened. It's a very small town. Nothing like this ever happens. And then this girl, someone like really close to her heart, goes missing, and the main character has OCD, and then things just kind of get out of control from there. And the concept was really kind of weird, and it was interesting. And obviously through every single book there's one person who loved it and gave it a 5, and one person who hated it and gave it a 1. So where I was like a 3 or a 3.5, just because I had some problems with it. Like I've said before, that her writing style I like. It's simple, but sometimes that can be like a problem when you want like world building and a lot of development on the world and on the characters, and you want to know more about the past. Obviously, if it's super simple, it's not going to work out obviously if it's super simple, it's not going to be that great. But like Lisa McMahon's Vision trilogy, like I absolutely loved, and some of her other books I wasn't that crazy about, but this one was okay. It was pretty good. Like the story was interesting, and it was kind of creepy, and it ended really strange, and it was interesting. It's pretty short, so if you have the time for it and you own it, just give it a read. It's pretty good. If you have the time for it, and it's pretty simple, so if you just want kind of like a little short, creepy novel, I'd recommend it. So the next book I read this month was the Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. And this is pretty much a girl who, pretty much her parents are divorced, and her dad moved out like a little while ago, and he met someone else, and now they're getting married, and she was invited to the wedding. And so she's in the airport, and she's going to the wedding, and she misses her flight, so she's kind of stuck there. And she meets a boy, and things happen, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 star. It was pretty good, pretty cute. I also marked off things. I usually only like mark off quotes and stuff for contemporaries and stuff like that, just because. So it was pretty good. I liked it. It was really cute, pretty short too. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. The next book I read was City of Fallen Angels. This book was really good. I gave it a 4. It was good. It's the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm really happy with it. It was it was kind of shorter than the other ones, right? But when I was even like reading reviews on it after I finished it, a lot of people thought this book was like a waste of time for the series, or they just really didn't like it and they thought it was the worst book in the series. I personally really liked it. Like, I never would have thought it was like the worst book in the series or anything like that, but it was really good. I really liked it. It was good. I recommend continuing on if you're holding back on it, but it was really good and it's shorter than the other ones, so why not? This book I read this month was The Outsiders by S.E. Hilton, and this book is pretty much about a gang. It's pretty much about a gang, and they are known as the Greasers, and then there's like the Socias, who are like the rich people with the cars and the stuff like that, and it has to do with all these things with the gang, and all these things happen. It's kind of hard to, I don't really know how to summarize the synopsis of this, but it was a good book, I will say that. I read along with my class actually, but I want to buy my own copy for my shelf and possibly reread it because it was a really good book. I enjoyed it. It was good. I loved it. And if you've read it, all I have to say is Dally, because Dally's beautiful, and yeah. The book I read this month was I Hate My Selfie by Shane Dawson, and this book was actually really, really good, and I'm a big fan of Shane Dawson as a YouTuber, and I was like really excited to read this, and you can totally see that he actually wrote this because of just everything, how he wrote it. Like, his personality was totally like shown in the book, and it actually had to do with some pretty good lessons in it, but it was still with the humor, you couldn't really tell, like, do you know what I mean? It's really light, it's a nice read, it's simple, but if you're not a fan of Shane, I wouldn't really recommend reading the book if you haven't watched any of his videos before, because it might be a little too much with the swearing and stuff like that. I don't know how old you are, or how mature you are and stuff, but you know, just it was good. It was a collection of essays, and it's really good. It's very good, and there's literally like art that his fans drew for him. Like, he got fans to draw art for him, and he uses them for like every chapter. And like on the last page it has like this one, and I really like that one a lot, and then there's one for like every chapter, and I thought that was really cool, and it was fun seeing the artwork for every chapter, so that was fun. So the next book I read this month was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and I'm so happy about this one. And this book I actually got through pretty fast. Most of these I don't go through very fast because they're kind of big. They're like 500, most of them, like average 500, 450, stuff like that. This book was so good, and I loved it so much. It was really good, and I enjoyed it. And now I have to read the Infernal Devices before I can read the very last book, but it was great, and yeah. The next book I read this month was a classic, and that is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, and I really enjoyed this book. I read this throughout my read-a-thon reading challenge thing that I did, and it was good. It was pretty good. You know, I think it's how much, like, the storyline is pretty straightforward, and there's not really a way of summing this up, but you know, it's very like a simple storyline, and you know, you really gotta see what you can take from the book, and there's a lot of like symbolism. That's what I believe I saw in it with everything that happened, and you know, it's how much you can take from it. And hopefully, like, I did appreciate this book, but hopefully I can appreciate more in the future once I mature a bit or anything like that. Not that I'm immature, but like, you know, it's how much you can take from it too. But I do want to read more classics from this, and I did enjoy it. So finally, going to the last book I read this month was Shades of Desire, Jamie Dornan by Alice Montgomery, and this is a biography memoir thing on Jamie Dornan, and I actually loved this. It was good. I gave it a 4. I believe I gave it a 4, or I gave it a 3. I gave this a 3.5 or a 3.8, somewhere around there. Probably I gave it a 3 or a 4 on Goodreads. Not really sure. Probably gave it a 3. But yeah, this book was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was just everything about Jamie and his life, and it was so good. But like the only thing that was like a problem was like the people in his life. They would literally like go in like 5 pages just about the person, and I was like, why? I don't care about them. But like, it was good. Like, you got to know a lot about him, and he's actually like such a great guy, not just because he looks beautiful, obviously, which he does, but that's not all to him. And it was really good, and it was good. It was good. I recommend. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed my April wrap up. And if you have read any of these books, let me know in a comment down below. We can discuss it a little bit without spoiling. Just tell me how you liked it, tell me stuff like that. Or if you want to read any of them, just tell me in a comment and we can talk about it, because why not? I love discussing books with people. And also, if you want to follow my Goodreads, that would be awesome, because you will see what I'm currently reading, and you can see what I've read, what I gave what on a star rating, even though, you know, star ratings have a bit of controversy around them, you know, because anyways, I can't get into that now, keep hollering. But if you guys want to check me out there, that'd be great. And yeah, I'll follow you back, you know, we can be friends on there. Like, there's actually a friends thing. I don't mean to sound creepy, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.